Does anybody else miss the days where you could rent like a house or an apartment for like $1,000? Like, I remember first moving out on my own, and I think my apartment was like maybe like $945 or something like that. Like, really wasn't that bad. And now we just moved to the south, got a new house, paying rent, and we're paying $2,100. And I know that might not be a lot to some of you guys, but for rent, that is crazy.
Guys, welcome back to This African Perspective. Today we are going to talk about rent and how high it is. I've made a video about rent, but about the rants and raves of people who are complaining about the rent. And you know, if you live in countries where I know like inflation is actually everywhere. Like, people are dealing with inflation worldwide, but there are places where it's worse and there are places where it's not as worse. But today, if you are actually paying rent, I think this is mostly something you have experienced or possibly you can relate to. So the rent is too high and it keeps going up while you're living in the same place. It's horrible. And then when you are even trying to, a lot of people can't even afford houses because the houses are extremely expensive and they're not even worth it. Because what are the materials that were used to build those houses? Mainly just some wood. If there are any natural disaster or anything at all, be it maybe whatever, like mostly natural disaster, all the houses are just gonna fall apart. They're not even worth it. You would think when you even increase your rent when you're living in the same place, you would think possibly maybe they made some changes, because that's what I'm used to. Like, when rent actually go high in a certain place, or that means the property value has increased, possibly because they did some changes, some renovations. But there's no renovations done. It's still the same place, maybe even became crappier or whatever, but the price keeps going up and higher and higher, and you would think your pay is gonna increase somehow, maybe so it can match the whole, you know, cost of living, but it doesn't go any high. It still remains the same and loses value. The money keeps losing value. Like, right now $50 is literally like $20, $10. You can go and spend it in just buying any little thing, which maybe years ago, or just a few maybe few months ago or so, or years, yeah, maybe a year or so, you could buy a bunch of things with that money. But now, nah. Apartment prices have become so high, and it's unaffordable for people because they literally have to be guessing between, should I buy groceries or should I pay rent? Should I stay homeless? You don't know what to do, and at the end of the day, you're still working, and the job you're working is not even is not covering all those problems that you're dealing with. But let's watch this rants and raves, and these are actually what people are saying that is highly relatable to us, because we're all dealing with the same thing.
And all I'm saying here today is this: we should not have to decide between rent, food, medication over shelter. We all deserve shelter, and damn it, we're gonna get the shelter.
We know that every cent, every hour, every scrap of dignity must be fought for. And just as we fight the boss at work, we must also fight the landlord at home. And just as organizing together on the job gives us power at work, so too does joining with fellow tenants give us power at home. Our landlords are working together, so why don't we? Let me be clear, we're not here today politely asking landlords to listen to us. We're coming together as tenants to build enough power to make them listen. And to make them realize that these demands we're rallying for aren't a wish list, they are a peace agreement. If Ron Weiser, Stuart Beale, and these other modern day feudal lords don't get their act together, the people who pay their bills every month might decide not to.
So I just got denied for an apartment. I have to move out of my beautiful, big ass, 2-bedroom apartment with a foyer and a separate kitchen and windows in every room. We're not gonna talk about it. Just got denied for an apartment because with me and my friend who are gonna be moving in together, her credit score is not high enough for us to qualify together, but my income is not high enough for me to qualify on my own. Although I have a 740 credit score, I have savings, and I make 30 times the rent. But because I don't make 40 times the rent on my own, although we make more than 40 times the rent together, we don't qualify. we don't deserve to have a home according to New York City real estate. And I'm just like, I don't understand, because it's like, so credit is powerful enough to make you a poor applicant when it's not good, but it's not powerful enough to make you a good applicant when it's good?
The cost of living in 2023 is so bad that I'm pretty sure I actually was better off financially when I was making minimum wage in 2012 versus me making almost $100,000 today. In 2012, I lived with my roommate in a 2-bedroom apartment and our rent was $700. So we paid $350 each. I paid maybe $100, $150 a month for groceries. Our utilities were maybe $100 a month for everything. And my take-home pay, making minimum wage, was probably, I don't know, $1,300, $1,400 a month. After all of my expenses and necessities, I had so much money left over. I mean, not like a lot of money, but like several $100s left over. I was able to go out to eat multiple times per week. I mean, nothing fancy, but like I was still able to go out. I was able to like go shopping. I really liked buying makeup and clothes, and I was able to do that. Now in 2023, I pay $3,300 a month for rent in British Columbia, obviously split in two, so I pay $1,650 of that. Utilities are at least $200 or $300 a month. I have a student loan payment, several $100s a month. I had to move outside the city, so now I have to have a car. I have, the gas prices are ridiculous. Car insurance in British Columbia. It adds up. And obviously I am making a decent salary. I can afford it, but I really feel like I had a lot more disposable income in 2012 when I was making minimum wage.
Anybody else think it's like fucking asinine to see all these buildings and all these apartment complexes being built? It's like, okay, first of all, nobody can afford to move into those places, and there's a lot of apartment buildings that are vacant, that are brand new, that are vacant. And this one is like, I see them all over the city I live in, and it's just like, that's just going to be another one that's vacant. And then at the bottom of them, they have commercial spots where you can rent and open up your business, but people can't afford that rent to run a business. So it's like, it's just a giant fucking building taking up space that priced people out of the homes that were there before, just to erect a giant building that's completely vacant just to take up space. It's like, you guys are just building shit for no reason. And it's fucking up the traffic in the city. And when I drive by and I see that it's just another commercial building, it's just another building that has a bunch of vacant homes in it, like, it's pointless.
How much you pay for your rent does not fucking impress me. Some of y'all be around here bragging that my rent is $2,000, or you pay $2,500 a month for rent. Why? Did you guys know that rent should only be 30% of your gross income every month? That means if you're making $4,000 a month, that means your rent should only be $1,200 fucking dollars. It's okay to want to live in a better neighborhood, but at what price or what expense are you willing to pay for that? Some of y'all too bougie and don't want to live in the hood until y'all get y'all shit together. Y'all want to go straight to fucking bougie town. Y'all know what the hell I'm talking about. And then after you get to that big ass house or you get that big ass apartment, then you realize you ain't got no money left for the month to even enjoy yourself. Some of y'all got all that space in y'all crib and ain't even got no furniture in it. Y'all just happy y'all got a big ass house. House so empty, y'all yodeling, y'all can hear the motherfucking echo coming from side to side. Yodelay, yodelay, yo. Y'all need to go somewhere where rent is significantly cheaper. It's more than okay to downsize temporarily until you get back on your feet to where you need to be.
Why are renters having to take their landlords to court just to have their basic rights met? Last week, we heard from renters Teresa and her housemate at the Rental Crisis Inquiry. They said that they'd been trying repeatedly to get a leak in their roof fixed. After 3 months of asking their landlord, they were hit with a notice to vacate. Most renters are too scared to even ask for the repairs in the first place out of fear that they'll get an eviction. But repairs and maintenance could be automatic in rental properties, with the onus on the landlord, if they want to dispute it, to actually prove that the repair isn't necessary. We also heard from landlords who are treating bond claims like that extra cash that you pick up when you pass go. They know that most renters don't actually have the time or the money to fight it in VCAT, and so they'll just roll the dice and see what they can get. A bond should not be withheld by a landlord without proving that they actually have a valid reason to hold on to that bond. Now is the time to redress this power imbalance, to reverse the burden of proof onto the landlord and not the renter, and to make renting fair.
Hey man, so like I was looking on Craigslist, man. I see y'all got this house for rent, man. You know, I saw, 3 bed, 2 bath. It's like, it's exactly what I'm looking for, you know what I'm saying? So, what's the requirements for that? Well, damn, man, I'm glad you showed up, man. Our requirements, man, we try to make it so everybody can get in. We try to make the requirements real lax. We don't ask for much. The only thing we ask is that y'all pay the rent on time. That's it. Nothing crazy. Okay, yeah, I can do that. But so what's the requirements? Oh yeah, for sure, bro. My bad, man. I ain't tell you about the requirements. Let me go ahead. Let me walk over here. We're gonna take a seat and we're gonna go through the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna make sure that you qualified. You know what I'm saying? So let's just go over this real quick. You gotta have a 860 credit score. We know that the max you can get is 850, but we looking for people with 860. If you can use Experian Boost or anything like that, that'll really help you out. Then let's see here. Then you gotta make you got to make at least 5 times the rent. Okay. So this right here is $2,000 a month. So you need to be bringing in at least 10 grand a month before, we can get you approved. And you got to have homeowners insurance. You got to have insurance for your dog, insurance for your cat. You got pets? It don't matter. That's part of the requirements anyway. You know what I mean? Let's see what else. Everything in this house is going to be maintained by you in perfect condition, and the lease is 12 years long. How that sound? Bro, are you... What the fuck? That shit don't even make fucking sense.
You know how everyone's freaking out that the rent is too damn high? Well, it could actually be because of one company's algorithm. A lot of people in the United States are living in apartments that are owned by property management companies, and those companies actually use pricing software to set their rental prices. And ProPublica, which is an incredible journalism organization, has discovered that there is one company that is using an algorithm that basically is setting the price for all of these large property management companies when it comes to charging for rent. And that company is called RealPage, and there are 4 Democratic senators that are now accusing the company of colluding with landlords in order to inflate rental prices. This is actually so serious that the Department of Justice is looking into this as well. Critics say that the algorithm allows competitors to all raise their prices, which inflates the cost of rent in the market. If you think your rent is abnormally high, it probably is.
So I've been sitting outside since 8:30 this morning waiting on the water man to pull up because my landlord forgot to pay the water bill. This is the 3rd time, right? And what pisses me off even more is that I just paid my rent. I'm always on time. And it's just so weird because it seems like the higher the pricing goes to survive in this country, the lower the quality goes in accordance to the services that we're supposed to be paying for. And it's sad to say that renters feel like they have no voice in this city. We gotta go through everything in order for us to get things fixed, but yet we gotta pay our rent on time or we'll get kicked out. Make it make sense. And it's literally been like a trend for like landlords to not pay bills that they're supposed to pay, and the renters are the ones that gotta suffer. So all I'm saying is if y'all gonna keep price gouging and raising prices on rent, y'all accountability needs to increase as well.
So I really do feel bad for like the people that have never experienced their own place, like living on their own. 2017, I graduated college. My first job, I was making $38,000 a year, and I was able to afford my own apartment, which was only $600 a month. It was a 1-bedroom, 1 bath. It was very spacious. It was a nice place. Literally not even 30 minutes from Atlanta, right off the interstate, and it was in the suburbs too, so it wasn't directly in Atlanta. And I was able to live very comfortably. Like I was able to do extra stuff. I remember I went to CrimeCon, I went to Voodoo Fest on this salary, and I never worried about losing my apartment. And I lived there comfortably for almost 2 years. And within 2 years, my rent went from $600 to $1,000 a month. So I was forced to move out because I could not afford that. But I really wish like we could live like that again because I was so comfortable and I had the best time.
More than 13,000 rent-stabilized units in New York City are sitting empty for multiple years. And yet, New York City is also facing an unprecedented housing crisis and increased amounts of homelessness. How can those two things be true at the same time? Well, because the people who own all of those 13,000 units are against rent stabilization. So instead of putting those units on the market for their rent stabilized rates, they're choosing to do what's called warehousing their units, where they intentionally keep them vacant for years at a time, with landlord groups saying it makes more sense to them to let the units remain empty, because if they were to fill those units, they would not be able to make the amount of profit that they wanted. So instead, they would rather all of their units remain completely empty and purposely not list them, thus making the housing crisis in New York City significantly worse. There have now been calls from multiple organizations pushing to force the people who own these units to put them back on the market, unless they can give a legitimate reason as to why they are warehousing their units, i.e. they're under construction, they're going through renovations, etc. But these groups are saying if your units are operational, they need to go on the market.
You know, back then, at least people were able to, you know, kind of keep some money for themselves. They can pocket some money and be like, okay, after paying all this rent, after paying for my groceries, after paying for all these bills that I have, at the end of the day, you could possibly have some money to keep aside. Like you can say, okay, this is my savings in case of an emergency, or I'm just saving up money. Because sometimes there are a lot of people who actually work in order to be able to save up money for the purpose of maybe possibly creating a business for themselves later, because who wants to work for the rest of their life? But in a situation where all the money is being taken and you're left with nothing and you're living paycheck to paycheck, how on earth are you going to get out of the work, the whole going to work all the time for the rest of your life? More like it's impossible. But yeah, that's just what we're dealing with right now. But you guys, please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and click the like button. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below about what you think about this video. I appreciate you guys for watching this video, checking out another episode on The Rent is Too High. All right guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.